Okay, good Tavach everyone. As we learn the Mishna Yomis for Motzi Shabbos, the Motzi Shabbos of Matas Masa, Parshas Chazak, Shabbos Mevarchim Chodesh Av, as we are sponsored by the Fisher family, Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shalom ben Avram Alevi, Perel Bas Ruvain, and the Shabbos should have an Aliyah also, Nishmas Rabbi Rachmil Gershom ben Tzvi Yehuda, Lefu Shalem Feliyah Moshe ben Chayesara, and for the betterment of Avram ben Yom Benish ben Malki Yudis and family, and by Yod Klugman and family, and as Irving just mentioned, it is the yahrzeit of my father's Neshama Yisera tonight, and Tzvi ben Rameir's Neshama should have an Aliyah. Mishna Ches in the fourth parak, HaHalel v'Asimcha Shmoina. Halel and the eating of the Basur Kachim, the Shalmei Simcha, is applicable on all 8 days of Sukkot, both 7 days of Sukkot and Shmini Atzeres. Malamed shechayiv adam b'halal uvasimcha, in the complete halal, and in basar kachim ubekvoid. Covered is, of course, wearing ksus nekiah and setting a beautiful table for Yom Tov Achron Shel Chag, even on Shmini Atzeres, which is a Yom Tov b'fnei atzmai, kishar kol yimei Chag, like the rest of the days of Sukkot. Sukkot Shiva Kates, and I remember we were talking about in Eretz Yisrael, where Sukkot is over on the seventh day, and Shmini Atzeres is a separate Yom Tov where you don't use a Sukkot, then it would be Bal Taisif. On the seventh day, Gama Melechel, even when you finish lunch on the seventh day, Lo Yater Sukkah, you shouldn't take down the Sukkah. Maybe you need to take a nap, or maybe you're going to eat a little meal later on in the day, so you shouldn't take down your Sukkah. Avol, however, you could take down the table. Remember, the sukkah was on the roof. You could take down the table to set it up in your house, from mincha ketana, which is 2.5 hours before shkia, in honor of the last day, meaning in honor of Shmini Atzeres. Nisach hamayim kesad. What's the mitzvah of the water libation that's done the 7 days of Sukkot? Tzloiches shel zav, they took a jug of gold, machazekes shloisha lugim, that held 3 lug, mamali min hashiluach, they would fill it up from the Shiluach river, which ran close to the Beis HaMikdash. Higil l'shar hamayim, then they brought the jug to the highest gate on the southern side. If you remember, we learned that was the water gate. When they brought it in, toku ve'riu v'toku, they blew a tekiah through a tekiah. Ola b'kevesh, the Kayin then took the jug of water up the ramp. Upon l'smaila, he turned to his left to the southwestern corner of the Mizbeach. Over there, next to the horn of the southwestern corner, there were shnei svalim shel kesef hayusham. There were 2 bowls of silver which connected to the underground shitin, the underground vat. Rabbi Yehuda says they really weren't of silver. Shel sidayu. They were really made out of lime, of plaster. Elishayu mishcharim, they were darkened like silver. Pneim, Elishayu mishcharim pneim, their face was darkened like silver. Mipnei hayayin. Now, of course, the wine was not usually put into the bowl of water. However, sometimes they made a mistake, and therefore the bowl of water was also darkened and had a silverish look. Now, these 2 bowls, these 2 holes each had these 2 bowls each had a hole like the hole of a nostril. So there were 2 holes like the 2 nostril holes, which the water went from the bowl down the pipe into the vat. Echad me'uba, the one of wine was a wider hole. The echad dak, the one of water, was a narrower hole. So that when you poured the wine and the water at the same time, the wine which is thicker and the water which is thinner drained out at the same time. Ma'rovi Shomayim, the 2 holes were next to each other. The one more to the west was water. Mizrachi Shel Yain, the one more to the east was for the wine. If you made a mistake, Eresh Shomayim l'sech Shel Yain, if you put the water in the wine, or V'Shel Yain l'sech Shomayim, or the wine into the water, you fulfill your requirement. Rabbi Yehuda argues in 2 points. Rabbi Yehuda Mabalog Hayamanasach, it wasn't 3 lugan, it was only a lug. And it wasn't the 7 days of Sukkot, it was Kol Shmoina, even Shmini Atzeres. Now, The din of Nisach HaMayim is not beferish in the Torah. It's learned out. One drasha is there's an extra mem in this kayem and an extra yud in this Succa, and then again an extra mem, and it's a drasha that we learn out. The stoikim didn't hold of the drasha. Therefore, they didn't hold of the procedure of Nisach HaMayim. And we know in the Second Temple, unfortunately, there were powerful tzedakah kohanim. So therefore, in order to make sure that they poured it into the bowl, the one that did the nisach, they tell him, Hagva yodcha, lift your hand high, that we should see what you're doing. Shepam achas, one time, nisach echad al gabe raglav, one time somebody poured it instead of into the bowl, he poured it on his feet because he didn't believe in the Nisach HaMayim. Uregamu kala amba esregim, and everybody stoned him with their esregim. So now they made sure that at Stoke he shouldn't do his ugly ways. They tell him, raise your hand high. Again, we want to thank you very much for a very enjoyable evening of Torah this Motzei Shabbos. Tomorrow and throughout the week, Be'ezus Hashem, the shir will be at 8:45 at zoomdaf.com. Also remember that on Wednesday is the Chumash Shir. We are looking for a sponsor for the Chumash Shir, 718-916-3100, rmmwsi@aol.com. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a good Tavach.